Do you have any idea what you caused in this person's life? Every word you spoke, every gesture changed the course of important choices. It was no accident that you two met. You were the support she didn't even know she needed. It was you who gave meaning to moments that were lost. Without realizing it, you became an essential part of the strength she has today. And now that this is clear, what are you going to do with it? Understanding the impact you had on her life is not simple, but it is undeniable. You were more than a fleeting influence. You were the missing piece in a moment when she didn't even know what she was looking for. Your actions, even the most subtle ones, left marks. It was your words that filled the voids. Your choices that made her see possibilities where there was only uncertainty before. Every moment shared between you, no matter how brief or seemingly insignificant, brought something to the surface within her. Maybe you didn't notice, but you became that person she remembers when she needs strength or a different perspective. When everything seemed to be falling apart, it was your presence or even the memory of it that kept her standing. She recognizes this now. She recognizes that you were essential in crucial decisions, that your way of being brought light to days that were dark. And more than that, she realizes that none of this was by chance. It was not a coincidence that you crossed each other's paths. You may find it hard to accept, but everything points to a greater purpose, something that goes beyond what can be explained with words. And do you know what's more important? She never told you this. Maybe out of fear, maybe out of insecurity, or simply because she didn't know how to put into words how important you were. But it's undeniable that something changed inside her since you appeared. You became someone impossible to replace. You brought meaning to parts of her life that previously seemed empty. You gave her a kind of security that no one else was able to offer. But now comes the hardest part. What do you do with that? You know the impact was real, that there was a strong connection, something that doesn't happen every day. Are you going to ignore that? Are you going to pretend you don't feel that same strength? Because deep down you feel it. You know that she wasn't just another person in your life. She moved you, just as you moved her. And it's not about obligation or responsibility. It's not about doing something because you have to. It's about recognizing what is already there, what has already been built, and deciding what to do with it. Because if you let it slip away, if you do nothing, the absence of that connection will scream. It may take a while to realize, but it will scream. It's not something that is replaced or fades with time. These things stay. They stay because they are real. So you have two choices now. You can acknowledge it, accept what you feel and what you know she feels, and allow it to grow, to transform. Or you can turn your back, let the moment slip away and try to live as if none of that had happened. But before you decide, think about what you're losing if you choose the second option. She is not just anyone, and you know that. She is that person who stood by your side even when you didn't realize you needed someone. She is the one who understood you, even in times when you tried to hide parts of yourself from the world. And she stayed. She stayed because she saw something in you that maybe you haven't even recognized in yourself. And that doesn't happen every day. So ask yourself, what do you really want? Because this decision isn't just about her, it's about you too. It's about the kind of person you want to be, the kind of life you want to lead. Do you want to be someone who values real connections, who recognizes what matters, or someone who lives on the surface, letting what truly has value slip by? You already know the answer, even if you haven't said it out loud yet. So, what are you going to do about it now? You know she's not just anyone, but do you know what that means? It means you had something rare, something not often found, and the question now is, are you going to let it slip away? The choice you make isn't just about her. It's about what you value in life. And time doesn't wait. Every moment that passes without a decision is a lost opportunity, and you know this. She has already given you silent proofs that you were different. They weren't spoken words, but actions, gestures, looks, moments that showed what she feels without her needing to say it. And you noticed, didn't you? Because deep down, you feel it too. You feel the strength of this connection. You feel how it's not something common, how it doesn't repeat itself. Maybe you don't have the right words now, but the feeling is there. It always has been. And if you think this can wait, that things will sort themselves out, you're mistaken. These connections don't survive in silence. They need to be nurtured. They need presence, reciprocity. If you don't act, the distance will grow. Not because she wants it, but because the absence weighs and no one can carry that for long alone. Think carefully. She never asked you for anything. She never demanded that you be different, never expected more than you could give. But that doesn't mean she doesn't need something. She needs to know that you recognize what you both have. She needs to feel that you are present not just in body, but in soul. It's not about grand gestures or promises. It's about honesty, about saying what you really feel and acknowledging what exists between you. Because if you don't do this, don't think that time will fix it. Time doesn't heal what hasn't been tended to. It creates distances, hides feelings, and eventually erases what was once strong. And is that what you want? To let something so unique disappear for lack of courage to act? You don't need to have all the answers right now. You don't need to know exactly what the future holds. But you do need to take the first step. You need to show that you acknowledge what's before you. She deserves that. And you also deserve to experience something true, without barriers, without doubts. But of course the choice is yours. It always has been. No one can force you to see what is right in front of you, nor to act. But if you decide to ignore this, you need to be ready to accept the consequences. Because a connection like this, once lost, doesn't come back. It leaves a void that other things cannot fill. So what will it be? Will you own what you feel, recognize what's between you, and give something real a chance? Or will you remain silent, letting the moment slip by until it's too late? The decision is in your hands and time is running out. Don't wait until everything is already lost. She's still here. She still looks at you, waiting for an answer, even if silently. But how long will this last? What you do now will define everything. Choose carefully, because you're dealing with something you don't find every day. What will you do? If you think you can push this decision off until later, you are mistaken. Silence is also a choice, and often it is the choice that destroys what could have been something amazing. You need to understand that she is giving her all to keep believing, to keep this connection alive, but it can't just be about her. Real relationships are built by two people. Are you willing to do your part? She has already given you chances, even without saying so directly. You notice because she stayed, even through your emotional absences, even when you hesitated. But how long can she carry this alone? Don't think that her feelings are eternal or unshakable. No one can wait indefinitely for a decision that never comes. And if you continue to stay still, she will eventually give up. Not because she doesn't value you, but because she realizes that she is fighting alone. And that's not what you want, right? You know she is special, that no one else will occupy the space she occupies. So why hesitate? Why let fear or doubt speak louder? You don't need to have all the certainties in the world to take a step. You just need to be honest with what you feel. And deep down, you already know the truth. You already know what she means to you. That's enough to take action. She is waiting for something simple: clarity. She is not asking for impossible promises or grand gestures. She is asking for the truth. She wants to know if it's worth continuing to believe in this, if what you have is something you also see and value. And believe me, she deserves that answer. Not because she demanded it, but because she gave her heart without reservations. The least you can do is give a response that is up to the level of her commitment. You may think that the risk of opening up about what you feel is great, but the risk of doing nothing is even greater. You are putting on the line a connection that doesn't happen every day, something many people spend their lives searching for and never find. Do you really want to risk losing that? Because once it's lost, there's no turning back. Life goes on, paths diverge, and the what-if remains forever. But perhaps the most important thing now is for you to understand that it's not just about her. It's about you. It's about being the person you want to be, someone who chooses to face things head-on, someone who recognizes the value of deep and genuine connections. You don't need to be afraid of making mistakes. The biggest mistake would be not trying, not showing, not fighting for something that clearly means a lot to you. So, be direct. Be honest. Seek her out and tell her what you feel, what you think. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because it doesn't exist. The perfect moment is when you decide to act. And if you are waiting for a sign, this is the sign. Don't let silence be what defines your fate together. You have the chance to build something real, but you need to do your part. She has already done hers. She was by your side when you didn't know what you wanted, when you were lost or trapped in your doubts. She gave you strength, she gave you time, she gave you space. Now it's your turn. It's your responsibility to show that she didn't do all that for nothing, that she didn't believe in something empty. If you truly care, you need to show it, not with empty promises, but with actions, with words that are true, because at the end of the day, what matters is not what you think, but what you do. She won't remember all your doubts or fears. She will remember how you acted, what you said when it mattered. So the question now is simple. Are you willing to do something for this connection, or are you going to let it slip through your fingers? You have everything in your hands now, the power to build something incredible or let it disappear. But remember, if you choose not to act, there are no guarantees that another opportunity like this will come up. Not because people don't cross our paths, but because not everyone has the same impact. Not everyone touches the heart so deeply. And she touched yours, didn't she? Otherwise you wouldn't be reflecting on this. You feel it, you know you do, so why wait? Go. Tell her. Show that you recognize what you have. Because if you don't do it now, there may not be another chance. What are you going to do? You're already aware of everything that's at stake, but you still hesitate. Why? Fear of making a mistake? Not knowing how to start? There is no perfect way, but there is the worst one. Silence. If you choose silence, you're making a decision that could put an end to something that still has so much to be lived. She's not waiting for perfection, she's waiting for truth. You think you need to have everything resolved, but you don't. You just need to show that you care, that you understand what she means to you, that you are willing to value what you have. The words don't need to be grandiose, they need to be real. If you don't know where to start with something simple but direct. You are important to me and I want to make this work. Sometimes that's all she needs. You have to understand that the time she gave you was not infinite. She stayed because she believed in you, believed in what you could build together. But no one can bear the weight of uncertainty forever. It's exhausting to carry feelings alone, to wait for signs that never come, for words that stay trapped in the air. And over time, it wears down even the strongest feelings. And do you know what's even more cruel? She won't give up because she wants to. She'll give up because she doesn't see another option. Do you really want to get to that point? Do you really want to let this slip through your fingers because you were afraid to take a risk? Is that what you're going to accept for yourself? You feel this as strongly as she does. The difference is that she's already taken a step forward. She's already taken a risk, invested, made it clear, even if silently, how much you mean. Now, the next step is yours. And don't be mistaken, she is waiting, but she won't wait forever. You need to move and you need to do it now. The worst thing that could happen is you realizing too late what you lost. And believe me, the emptiness that remains afterward is unlike any other absence, because it's not the absence of just anyone, it's the absence of her. It's the echo of everything you could have been and that you let slip away. Do you want to live with that? Do you want to carry that regret knowing it could have been different? It's not about absolute certainties, it's about the courage to try. And you have the courage for so much in life, but when it comes to feelings, you seem to freeze. Why? Because it's easier to pretend you don't feel anything? Because it's more comfortable to avoid than to confront? Comfort won't give you what you truly want. What you want lies in the discomfort of being vulnerable, of opening up, of showing that you do feel, and that you're willing to build something. And deep down, you know this. You know the right path isn't the easiest, but it's the only one that's worth it. You know she is different, that what you have is different. That alone is enough reason to act, to speak up, to do something to show that you are not indifferent to all this. She needs to know that she is not alone in this feeling. If you don't act, if you let this pass, know that she won't hate you. That's not how she works. She will distance herself, yes, but she will continue to wish the best for you. She will keep you in a special place, even if it hurts. And you? Will you be able to move on knowing that she was still willing, that she still believed in you too, but that it was you who didn't hold on? If this is not what you want, if regret is starting to form before even losing her, then do something. Find her, tell her what you feel. Talk about your fears, your doubts, but above all, make it clear that you want to try. You don't need to have all the answers now. You just need to show that she is not alone. You are so close to changing everything, to saving something that still has so much to offer. Don't let the fear of what could go wrong keep you from seeing everything that can go right. She has already done her part. Now it's your turn. What are you going to do? Now it's up to you. Don't let silence be your answer. Say what you feel, value who is by your side, and build something real. Subscribe, leave your like, and comment. I'm ready to act and not let what matters slip away. Your voice can inspire more courageous decisions.